The level of education today literally is like cancerous. I have no idea why parents pay for schools. You're literally sending your kids to places that will destroy them. Higher level education in America is the bottom of the barrel today. It is better to simply watch YouTube videos and get courses on the internet than go to the colleges of today. Complete disgrace to anything good that could happen, and it has happened in this country. You ask the average American, how many Arab countries are in the world? Your major is geography. How many Arab countries are in the world? They'll tell you 3, 4. How many Jewish countries are in the world? 15, 20, 35. How many people in the world? They have no idea. They don't know basic things. Who is the president? Who is the founding fathers? They don't know nothing. So to ask them, what is a Jew, is a waste of time. But you would expect people that live in the Jewish state to know the answer. In one of the Independence Days, Yom Ha'atzmaut in Israel, they had somebody go out there to the party and ask people, what is a Jew? And of course they put this on the news. So they asked these young kids, secular kids, don't really know much about Torah, unfortunately. But you asked them, what is a Jew? They were excited to answer. What's a Jew to you? The first guy says, somebody that eats falafel. Now, even though falafel is delicious, you do realize that came from the Arabs, right? No, but we make it better. Okay. Second guy says, nah, it's not falafel. Somebody that eats hummus, for sure he's a Jew. That's a Jew. Somebody eats hummus? By the way, that also came from the Arabs. And yeah, you can say we make it better, but that's what makes you a Jew. Okay. Third kid, what makes you a Jew? Somebody that lives in Israel. That's a Jew. What, so you're telling me that the 6 million Jews that live in America, they're all goyim? Hundreds of thousands of Jews living in England, all goyim? Everybody else goyim? Only live in Israel, it's all the Jews? The fourth guy said the most common answer. Who's a Jew? It says somebody that serves in the Israeli Defense Force, the army, Tzal. Somebody's in the IDF, that's a Jew. No Masoret, no traditions, no clue what is a Jew. Nothing. But what can you say when that's the education that they got? It's not their fault. That's what Rav Elchonon Wasserman was crying about even before the founding of the country, of the state. Even before, he says, look, even before 1948, even before the founding of the state, already the Zionists put schools there that were teaching the kids heresy, that were teaching the kids to be like Greeks, to be like atheists, to be like communists. What can you possibly expect? They'll teach you everything except the Torah. In one of the live shiurim that Rav Ephraim did, he did something unusual. He has a shiur for some time, 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on his shiur, sometimes longer. And then he takes questions from people, similar to the Stump the Rabbi. And but the questions from the Israeli crowd is very different, I must say. Some are very clever, some are very foolish, but nonetheless, they're just very different crowd, very different mentality. And one of these shiurim that he asked the questions, he actually allowed these couple of guys, these group of guys, to come online and speak to him at this, like they were on the feed. And they said to, listen, Rabbeinu, we respect you. We're not trying to disrespect you, but we are all educated in Tanakh. We got a degree in Tanakh in school. We went to school. You had to pick a major. We all took Tanakh. So we know Tanakh. And what you're saying is not in Tanakh. He said, which part is not in the Tanakh? He said, you said that it says in the Tanakh, Mechalel Shabbat mot yumat. That a Jew that violates Shabbat intentionally is death penalty. It's not in the Tanakh. Rabbi Chaim has endless patience for these kids. And he says to them, come my dear children, go get a Tanakh. Go get a Tanakh. No, we're all outside. We'll wait for you. Go inside, get a Tanakh. They went. And this is all live. They went inside, they got Tanakh. Okay, Rabbeinu, we don't want to embarrass you right now, but listen, we have to say something. He says, no problem. Open Parashat Kitisa in the book of Exodus. Read after me. He gives him the verse. Mechalelea mot yumat. Wallah, Rabbi. Wow, it's here. The kids live on the thing. Like, these are all kids that got education of Tanakh, but in a secular school. Which means Torah without God. Torah treated like a history book. Torah that does not have certain verses in it because it obligates you. But these young guys were saying, I don't understand. Why didn't they teach this to us in school? They realized they've been fed a lie. Rav Yosef ben Porat Sheikhye, one of the giant tzaddikim, Mizakeh Rabim in his generation, for decades already, before I was even a thought in this world, and has fruits we could only admire of what he's done over these decades. He has information that it's literally unbelievable. He says, Ben Gurion was a smart guy, clever, but he was a heretic and a rasha. And he knew that the leaders at the United Nations, most of them were Catholics, Christians, and they believed in the Tanakh. So he prepared himself. And when these leaders at the UN asked him, why should we give you the land? I mean, there are many Arabs there that have lived there for many years. Ben Gurion raised up the Tanakh and says, we have a proof that this land is ours. And what are the Christian and Catholic UN delegates going to say? No, they believe in that too. And therefore they agreed. After this happened, one of the rabbis in Israel wanted to verify the story. And he came up to Ben Gurion. And he asked him, is this true? And he said, yes, that's what happened. So the rabbi said, but this Tanakh that you showed them, it also says that Jews have to keep Shabbat. It also says stay away from immorality. It also says kosher food. Why don't you preach that too? To that, Ben Gurion was not clever enough to respond to. So he turned around and left without responding. Unfortunately, Rabotai, a Jewish state could only be in Israel. But to be Jewish and follow God, you don't need the state. So whether you live in Israel or you don't live in Israel, you could still be a follower of Hashem and follow His Torah and be the ultimate Jew. That's when people ask, should I make Aliyah to Israel? That depends. What will you do when you get there? Are you going to get closer to Hashem as a result and learn more Torah and do more mitzvot? Or are you going to send your kids to secular schools or what they call a half a religious school and end up having kids that marry non-Jews or desecrate Shabbat? What are you going to do there once you get there? If you're going to go there and learn more Torah and do more mitzvot and get closer to Hashem, then certainly it's a good option. But if you're already doing good where you are and you have more to lose by going there than to stay, why would you do it? That's not Dat Torah. You see, many people, especially those, unfortunately, that made Aliyah, get this chip on their shoulder, thinking that now that they've made Aliyah, they made the mitzvah of going up to the land of Israel, they can, in so many words, insult anyone in a very snobby way that hasn't made Aliyah. Oh, how come you don't make Aliyah? It's much better, it's holier here. How could you be over there among this? Hey, first of all, don't forget where you lived here too. Second of all, how are you doing as far as your Judaism? Because based on your attitude, you're probably better off staying in America, in London, in Kuwait, or wherever you came from. Many times people think that just making Aliyah makes them more religious. It's not necessarily the case. Now certainly some people grow and prosper and it's the best thing for them. But some not necessarily. I've seen stories where people literally make a move to Israel religious. When they get there, the religion gets thrown in the garbage. People don't understand that you can't just take pieces and make a puzzle the way you like with the Torah. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless. It's a zilzul, disrespect to the Torah.